And there's Metal Jesus again.
Hey, welcome back, Metal Jesus.
Thank you.
We're online on the air there, by the way.
So I see the whole thing up here.
Mine says off air.
Does it? It should say live. Well, mine says live. Yours will catch up.
Good, I hope so.
But isn't he ahead of us? I mean, maybe he already recorded it and he's done.
You've already recorded your part because you're in the...
good. Well, okay. Well, that's great. I can go then. So it's been fun.
We'll try to react to whatever random things you say.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure there'll probably be at least one more quote from Katy Perry, which I'm not.
Probably. And that the song wasn't on the air, but it's hosting time. Welcome to the greatest show. We've got a small cast today, but we have an awesome guest. First off, I'm DJ. This is Tricia. Say hi,
Hello.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
That's Metal
Hello,
Jesus
Kevin.
Kevin. And then our guest is from the Periodic Table of Awesome podcast, Quinny.
Yay! Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, all of the listeners. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Kevin. Hello, DJ. Hello, the cat. And hello, Wonder Woman in the background.
Yes,
No, she's behind you.
Yeah, to see the sun's back there, so I try to put stuff up so that it doesn't block out. And we just happened to have a Wonder Woman poster.
Oh, good. No, hang on. The sun. What time is it there?
Oh, it's 7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Saturday.
Why is it so bright?
Because it's the summer for us.
Oh,
That I knew. Because I remember listening to you way back on Cool Shite on the Tube. And you guys made a comment at one point about how it was so hot one day. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's freezing. Oh, they're in the southern hemisphere.
Wait. Will you go record your toilet flushing for me?
okay. I'll go do that next. Do you want me to go next door and do? And would you like to pay me $100 dues to do it?
I'm very confused. I know.
See, I at least I know Patricia is quoting from The Simpsons, right?
No,
she's not. But to correct you, there's no pa, just Tricia.
Oh, it's just Tricia.
Yes.
No pa.
But this, well, no, and I wasn't quoting The Simpsons, but the Simpsons guy is from here.
Which Simpsons guy?
Matt Groening?
I've never known how to pronounce it. Groening?
I'm just guessing too. So you were in the same boat.
Good. Yes, no, there's an episode of The Simpsons where Bart calls Australia and goes and asks them to flush the toilet and see what direction it goes down. And then he says, can you go next door and check it? And the kid lives out in the middle of the outback, so he goes away for literally 100 kilometers. Which is 90-something miles. Yes, it's all very funny.
She would not get that, but...
Well, you didn't either.
Well, yeah, it took me a bit. But, I mean, as soon as he said The Simpsons, I'm like, oh, yeah, that episode. And then there's that one episode where the guy is in Australia and he has forced his toilet to flush the correct way.
The great part about it is, as far as I'm aware, there is no scientific basis to this at all. Like, water goes down the plug exactly the same way as it does there.
So you're telling us that it goes down clockwise?
That is correct.
See, there was a some people think because you're at a different pole, it's going to go down differently.
I'm pretty sure the Earth spins the same way everywhere. I think that's how it works. I don't know, Kevin, is that how it works?
Yep. It's the Coriolis effect.
Oh yeah, he's our resident physicist.
Yes, he is currently in college, which you would know as university.
Are we going to do a translation thing the whole show?
No.
Because that could be very entertaining.
Well, let's do it then, because then everybody will get a hoot.
What should I have called the toilet then?
Blue.
Blue.
Oh, okay. Because I know there's got to be a different word for that. There has to be.
So for my lovely wife, I've been listening to you for years, but how many British isms do you guys actually use?
Oh, Britishism's a tricky one because I mean we're a British colony, and therefore most of our language is probably based loosely off the British language. But I don't know. We also have the whole thing of being Australian for 200 and something odd years, which means that we have our own really weird kind of subcultural phrases. Because I mean, in the UK, sometimes they call the toilet the privy, and and be damned if anyone in Australia has ever called it a privy.
Do you guys call it the WC?
I know what it is, but I've never called it that.
My favorite phrase that you have ever uttered, I'm pretty sure it was you, is
I'm sorry.
"Shoot me up a wall."
Oh, it does. Things that annoy me shoot me up the wall, that's for sure.
I've been using that all the time. I'm trying to use phrases from all places that aren't around me. People give me weird looks at first, but then they just, like, whatever, it's Portland.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same as drives you up the wall, but it just shits you up the wall. Don't really know how that works, but...
Well, the way I've been using it is somebody will say something stupid. I'm like, what? What? Are you trying to shit me up the wall? What are you doing?
See, and every Australian would look at you funnily and go, that's a really weird usage of that phrase. Like, you just go, I understand that you know the words and you know vaguely what they mean, but you're using them in such a strange context that no Australian would ever use it like that. Well done.
That'll make it even better.
So it's like I told you earlier, I'm learning Vietnamese. It's like me conversing with the Vietnamese, because I'll learn some phrase or something. I'll say it to somebody. The people that have been helping me, they'll look at me funny for a second. They're like, "Oh no," and then they correct my pronunciation or remove the word that I'm using incorrectly, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." And yeah, you realize I did a job once for a guy who's a South African guy, and you know, South Africans speak English the same as us, and they have very, very similar kind of background, but they have like really weird, slight differences. And one of them was he was talking about a guy who was a big, heavy drinker, and this guy was a piss cat. And he'd written this script and was like, "Okay, can you try and turn that into an Australian script?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely, but what is a piss cat?" He's like, "Oh, he drinks a lot. Oh, he's a piss head." Right.
And we don't...
So you just changed the cat to head, and then it made all the sense in the world?
Absolutely. Everybody in Australia would have looked at you real funny if you'd called him a piss cat, but suddenly if he's a piss head, it's like, "Oh, yeah, right, no problem."
Well, and if I'm trying to remember it later, I'm probably going to say something like face or something instead, and I'll get it totally wrong too.
Steve, he's a real piss face, he is.
What a piss face. We don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you drink a lot, you can get shit-faced. So, you know, are you a piss-faced, shit-faced? I don't know. And a shithead is completely different from a pisshead.
Huh, so maybe I make sense. And
I think we all make sense.
It.
Eventually.
And for viewers that may be checking this out, so obviously these are going to do the audio listeners any good, but
no.
Our new shirts came in, which have the logo.
Ooh.
Mine came with boots.
I saw you. I saw you were both wearing the same shirt, and I thought, that's really cute and kind of scary. You do this all the time.
This is because we got them Wednesday.
Yeah, we got them a couple days ago.
And we both made the determination that the first time they would be worn is right now. So that's why they're... I got a light blue because I wear a lot of light blue undershirts because my uniform shirt is light blue. So I try to match to not be so obvious. And now I've got another one. Plus, then if anybody asks me out of my route about the weird shit that I do, I can open my shirt and say it's at this place.
So we do for free comic book day.
Yay!
Or no, wait, no, that was not.
That was Star Wars Day.
This was Star Wars. Sorry, it was May the 4th. Okay.
As opposed to May the 6th, which was Free Comic Book Day. So I understand that the two are very close.
So for May the 4th, we both have Star Wars shirts that are reenacted by cats. So I have a Star Cats shirt, and he has the Emperor Strikes Back.
Oh.
And so we weren't quite matching, but...
I am waiting for them to come out with the Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
I think
why have they not done that?
Well, the Star Cats came out, and then I want to say a good 6 to 12 months later, the Emperor Strikes Back one came out. So I'm wondering if they're not going to do the next one late this year or early next year, because I mean that seems right in line. Although if they're smart, they'd put them all out at once.
Yeah, absolutely. So long as I don't know, are they also going to do like the I'm trying to think of a cat-related joke for the Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Claws. I don't know.
Well, Attack of the Claws, I would agree, and then I don't know what we would do for Revenge of the Sith, but the Catnum Menace, Catnum Menace. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I was trying to think of a cat breed that would work, but I don't actually know that many cat breeds because I hate to tell you this, I'm kind of a dog guy.
Well,
I'm a cat person that has a dog treat business.
You have a dog treat business, that is true.
Yes, I do.
So, which being the case, you love them both equally.
Yes, but I only want to own one of them.
Why?
I love everybody else's equally. We had a dog for about 13 years, and I realized that I'm not a dog person because I like the independence of giving a cat a bucket of food and a bucket of water and leaving the house.
Right. Okay.
So,
and the dog wouldn't allow you to do that?
Not as easily, no. And then especially since he had epilepsy and he needed medication every 12 hours, and then he couldn't walk up and down steps very well, so he really needed to be carried a lot.
Oh.
He was a little Pomeranian.
And when you get, I'm going to turn on that light.
Okay. But he's the reason my business started.
I miss him, but I've always had dogs growing up. But now that I've been with her, which has been, next year will be 20 years.
20?
20, yes. Since I've been with her, we've only really had cats as the main animals. So I don't know if I would. I liked the dog, but I don't think I want another one.
Okay. Fair enough. You know what? Hey, I don't judge. Kevin, what are you? Are you a cat or a dog man?
I'm definitely a dog person, as I'm allergic to cats. Otherwise, I'd be, cool with cats. So.
I've had a cat. I had a cat for a few years, and I'm allergic to cats. It was one of those things I had one because somebody said to me once, like, "Hey, what would you say if we gave you a cat for your birthday?" And I would say I'm allergic to cats, and they went, "Happy birthday!"
Oh my God!
I was like, thanks. I'm
sorry.
Sorry?
No, cats are cool, but I'm allergic, and yeah, that I could see happening to me. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, cat.
Kind of, and then, as if on cue, the cat arrives.
Yes.
Right.
She is a little terrorist. Oh, we have to hit all the words. Sorry. It's ISIS, the little terrorist who will bomb you with love.
Is this just to make sure we end up on all of the watch lists?
Hey, we need somebody live watching this, don't we? Might as well be the NSA and the CIA.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody. I guess I'm never coming to America now.
I know that you've been here. How many times have you been here?
Twice. I have been 2 times.
Both times in New York, or?
So the first time was a long time ago, 2010.
That is not that long ago.
I agree.
No, well, in the pace of my life, kind of it is.
Okay.
I think 2010, yeah. And yeah, we came over, went to New York. We were there for 10 or 12 days or something like that, and then spent another half a week or so in LA, doing like, and we were trying to make that was a long time ago, where we were trying to make the pilot for the Periodic Table of Awesome as a TV show. Yeah, that way back when. So we'd crowdfunded it, and said to everybody, "Hey, we're gonna make this TV show," and it's me and my partner Dion, and his partner, who is our producer, Felicity. And so we said, "Cool, let's make this happen. Let's make this TV show." And we had this idea, which is, the idea that the world, we all know that the universe is composed of elements. We decided, let's make it out of elements of awesome. So, what's an element of awesome? Bacon. Bacon is awesome. So the element for bacon would be like a big B and a little c. And so that means that there's an entire periodic table of awesome. But then you could combine the elements. So you could have like Batman, which is a capital B, and then lightsaber, which is a big L and a little s, and then sharks, which are like and then you get a compound of awesome. And then we found a photo, like a painting, that was Batman riding on a shark with a lightsaber. And we were like, holy shit. The internet has everything. And so we thought, yeah, we'll make a TV show. And basically it was going to be like a lifestyle show for nerds.
Nice.
Yeah. And so we went to New York Comic Con in 2010, and we filmed a whole heap of stuff. Like, we worked our asses off. We did interviews with voice actors. We went and looked around the convention. We basically everything that we could, we just filmed. And then spent the next however many years trying to get somebody to pick it up. And it went to a bunch of different networks, and it went to a bunch of different places, and a lot of different people got involved. And then, it started to evolve into something else, and then it did something different, and then kind of died in its ass in the TV form. And we went, shit, this is bad. Like, people have supported us to do this, and it hasn't happened. And so then, yeah, a few years later, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, we went, okay, right, well, let's at least, the very least, start the podcast again. Like, let's get that out there and start at least producing content. And that's what we do.
And when you first launched the podcast, I started listening, but at some point I stopped because...
We stopped putting it out for a while.
Well, maybe that's why I stopped.
Yeah.
Going up on your feed.
Because then it was... so while I am doing my mail delivery, I am not allowed to have earbuds in my ears.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is a safety hazard. I might not hear a vehicle coming and might get hit. So,
okay.
Or a dog might be coming and barking and I can't hear it. So, fine.
Right.
What I have figured out, though, is that I take my phone, I turn it upside down, play the audio just through the speaker and stick it in my pocket, and I can listen to podcasts all day.
Nice. And at the same time, be safe.
Yes.
Yeah, because his work shirt has a pocket up.
Now, and I also don't have I don't have my volume up so loud that that's all you hear. And most of the customers, when I'm talking to a customer, I don't even hear the podcast anymore.
Yeah, right.
So most of the podcasts I listen to anywhere are just background noise so that I can feel the day progressing as I go. But there's a lot of them that I listen to that have some interesting tidbits. I don't need every single word out of your mouth, but I mean, I'm getting the gist of it.
Okay.
So
well, that's good.
Yeah, so I figured out how
Because
to
half of the words we say are crap.
Yes, it's true.
On a podcast, sometime you should randomly emphasize certain words louder than others, and he could get some weird story out of it.
So we could be talking about a movie and talking about the explosive finale that is really good, and all of the bombs that are.
Well, so I picked up. I was listening to a few podcasts, and I had a whole bunch of them built up. And then the first couple of weeks on my own route, they were gone. I listened to all of them. I'm like, oh my God. And they weren't refreshing fast enough. So I went through and added a bunch. And that's when I rediscovered the periodic table of awesome.
Oh, okay.
And I don't listen to every show because there are certain things I haven't seen yet. So I might go back to listen to those. Yeah. But like we had seen Wonder Woman just before I listened to that review, and I listened to Alien Covenant because I wanted to have somebody whose opinion I trusted tell me about the movie, because I'm getting bombarded by the super fans that are like, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then the other people going, no.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately in the no.
And so when I was listening to it, I took your guys' results, yours and Dion's, and I took it to one of the super fans I work with, and they hadn't seen it yet, but they were going off all the hype, and I'm like, I just want to set your expectations that this may not be what you think it is.
Yeah. Oh man, Alien Covenant was a very disappointing film, in the sense that it was shot here in Australia. It was shot here in Sydney.
Really?
Yeah, at Fox Studios.
All right.
Yeah, basically the same studios where they did Attack of the Clones years and years ago.
Really? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So I just...
Now, the super fan that I talked to is an Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, skip over the other crap, straight to Alien Covenant person. I've seen all...
Where did he go with Prometheus?
Hate. I love Prometheus, but I also love the first two Alien movies. 3 gets a little sketchy for me, and I don't even want to talk about Resurrection.
Yeah.
I'm a big Predator fan, so I watched the Alien versus Predator movies for the Predator.
Yeah.
But I loved Prometheus, and when I heard they were coming out with when they were going to do Paradise, I was like, yes! And then a couple of months went by, and then it's like, no, we're going to do Alien Covenant. I'm like, no! So what I'm getting, basically, because I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I got to wait till it comes out now, because someone won't come to the theater with me.
Oh. The theater very much.
So what I'm getting, basically, is that it tries to answer some of the questions we had in Prometheus, but also tries to get some of the Alien fans back into an Alien movie, and it doesn't accomplish either one satisfactorily.
That's a pretty good précis of the issue with it. Kevin, have you seen it?
Not yet. I want to. I love the Alien series, so it's on my to-watch list as soon as I can. I've got like 2 tests this week, otherwise I'd see it already.
Okay. Okay, I'll be careful about what I'm saying because I don't want to spoil anything, and especially not for people who haven't seen it. But yeah, it tries to do the service of looking after people who enjoyed Prometheus, and following on the story of David the android from Prometheus, and also paying off the Elizabeth Shaw character as well.
Okay.
But at the same time, it desperately wants to try and get back to the whole alien thing, because I think Ridley Scott actually said at one point that he was pointing to the alien itself, going, "We got to get back to this guy, the xenomorph."
And
it doesn't it gets to the monkey. It brings back the xenomorph, but in doing so, completely undoes pretty much everything from Alien onwards.
I think that not having Noomi Rapace return hurt.
She's in it.
Oh, is she?
Briefly, yeah.
But she doesn't appear on the cast, so
no, it's really weird because like I had a friend who was one of the visual effects editors on it, and he said that like we watched the preview premiere screening thing, whatever, and afterwards he said, well, that was the best one of the versions of the films that we shot. And it's like, ooh. Okay. I think they shot a lot of film. I think they shot a lot with Noomi Rapace. I think they shot a lot with Fassbender. I think there's elements of the end of the story of Prometheus that have all been shot. But then there's an awful lot of stuff that is told in flashbacks. Because they wanted to move the story onwards and get to the alien bit.
Now, I don't personally care about spoilers in 99% of the occasions, but we'll stay where we're at. I know the little twist that kind of
which twist? There's a lot.
the one involving Fassbender.
Okay, yeah.
So I know about that, and I'm not. I still haven't seen the movie, obviously. So I would accept it if they had a David Shaw flashback thing going back and forth maybe for a while and then get into the horror part. But I mean,
which they kind of do, but kind of not.
That's not what I'm looking for, Quinny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like they do try and find ways to tell the story of the end of Prometheus, like what happened to those characters. But they do it in such a way that you kind of come away feeling like, I'm not sure what I just watched, whether I've had the whole story told or whether because honestly, I think there is another film in there, which is what happened on that ship between Noomi and David. Like, there is a whole story that we're missing.
Yes.
All we get is the weird kind of ending of it where you go, oh, okay, well, that went bad. And
which is why we needed Paradise.
I think, yeah, and you know what? I think they kind of probably got partway through making that film. I feel like that's, you know, that they went, okay, we've started making this film, which is the sequel to Prometheus. We've shot a lot of stuff, and now, oh, hang on, we need to make this Covenant film. We've got to make Alien Covenant, and so then it becomes Covenant, and there's, and to be honest, Covenant feels an awful lot like a greatest hits of Aliens, or Alien. You know, there's kind of bits that reference Alien. There's other bits that feel like they're kind of referencing Aliens and a little bit of Alien 3. Like it's trying to pick and choose the best bits out of, but then in doing so, it actually completely undermines everything from Aliens onward. Like,
so this sounds and to go to something we've all seen. This sounds a lot like, to me, The Force Awakens, where if I wanted to watch A New Hope, I would just watch A New Hope.
Yeah.
In rewatchings, there are things that I can get out of Force Awakens, and I'm happy with the end result, but it was way too much fan wank and not enough let's tell a Star Wars story, because no Star Wars has ever ended on a cliffhanger, and that's exactly what we got.
True. Yeah. I'm trying to compare the two.
Yeah.
Because yes, there is certainly an amount of fan wank in there. There is an amount of desperately trying to appease the fans of the Alien. And I think that, yeah, Ridley learned an awful lot from Prometheus, of people going, it's not about the alien, where's the alien, who are these dudes in suits, you know, why am I supposed to care about these characters? But in doing so, he made a whole bunch of the same mistakes again, and a whole bunch of extra new mistakes that are equally and in some cases more dumb. And it's so frustrating. You know, the things that I hated about Prometheus, like, you know, they go to an alien planet, and it's all new and all alien, and then after they've been there for about half an hour and they're in a cave, they go, yeah, I'm just going to take my helmet off. You're like, shoot him in the head, because he is clearly the dumbest person on this.
What that makes me think of is I listened to the Mission Log, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. When they were reviewing TOS, apparently there was an episode where one of the red shirts literally sits down on a brand new planet and pops something in his mouth. And their commentary is you're in a brand new place. You don't eat the local fauna until you know what you're eating. No. The guy died.
Yeah.
Let's go into a pyramid. Let's take our helmets off. Let's just hang out. Nothing possibly could go wrong here.
Yeah, the guy who's supposed to be an expert at underground mapping gets lost in a cave. And you know, yeah, all that kind of really dumb stuff.
Underground alien cave mapping.
But no, he needs his pups.
Yeah. But then you get to Covenant, and they literally, this is an alien planet they weren't even supposed to be going to. This is an alien planet that they've gone, oh shit, cool, there's one lot closer. Maybe we should try and land on that. Oh, it looks like it could support life. Okay, you know what? Let's just deviate from our plan of going to this other planet. Let's go to this other one. Yeah, just for fun. Cool. And now let's land on it. You know what? And when we land on it, let's just walk off the ship with no safety equipment at all. Like, let's just walk off wearing hoodies.
Hoodie.
I'm the captain here. This place looks safe. I'm not going to run any tests.
None whatsoever.
Might be cool. Let's go.
Let everybody, just so you know, nobody gets to watch War of the Worlds, okay? Nobody watches that. Because, you know, like, just that level of dumb annoyed the living shit out of me.
It's, right, and
but also, it completely kills the alien concept as well, because if you believe what happens in this film, there is no explanation at all anywhere from where alien queens come from.
It was my understanding that Ridley never liked the concept of the queen. He wanted this to be a constantly regenerating cycle without any sort of egg maker, and James Cameron is the one that introduced the queen, so he's trying desperately to undo it, is what I keep reading.
Well, then he succeeded, and that's a massive, massive middle finger to James Cameron.
Damn.
Well, there's lots of stuff I want to give James Cameron a middle finger for.
Yeah.
But not Aliens.
No. Like, it's so frustrating, because Aliens is actually probably the most tensely, tightly written, tightly paced film out of the whole series.
I'd argue that it's better than the original. But it's different than the original because it's not a horror movie, it's an action movie.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, you will.
Or else. But yeah, like Aliens is a very different film, and I see that, like, Ridley's trying to go back to doing more like what Alien was, but then he's taking beats from Aliens as well, and kind of riffing on stuff that they do in Aliens, and you're like, hang on, if you hate it so much, why are you riffing on it? That's just kind of being rude and insulting to the filmmakers. So yeah, I don't know. I came away from it with a distinct sense of a filmmaker who's desperate to please his audience but doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Excuse my French.
We speak French on this podcast all the time.
Mon Dieu.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Whoa, slow down, mate. Calm down.
Wow.
Okay, so far we've not covered anything that I had in the docket, which is fine because we're going a lot better with this idea anyway. So I want to ask.
I'm sorry, I am the king of just.
No, we're good. We're good because anyway, have you seen Jupiter Ascending?
Oh God.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, I have seen Jupiter Ascending.
I've not read the source material, but I didn't find the movie bad. I mean, that's my only frame of reference for it, and I thought that they could have gone farther. But I want to hear from somebody who's got a background in film critiquing, because you've been doing it a really long time. And
wow.
have you read the source?
Thanks for making me feel old there, DJ.
We can't be that far apart. I was born in 76. When were you born?
78, so yeah.
Wow, I'm older than you. Woo!
Hey!
Woo!
When in 78?
Yep.
When
I am a
78?
young sprat of a man. Kevin, how old are you?
I am 36.
36. So was that 80?
81.
81. Sorry, my maths are bad.
Quinny, when in 78 were you born?
May 1978.
Wow,
Ah.
even she's older than you.
April. The end of April.
Are you a Taurian?
Yes, I am.
Well, then we're both close enough.
Okay, anyway, have you read the
1978 represent. Anyway. Sorry, what was that? Have I seen Jupiter Ascending?
Have you read the source material?
No, I didn't know there was source material.
Okay. What did you hate about the movie? Because your reaction obviously means that you did not enjoy it.
Why was the guy a dog? And why was the other dude made of bees? There
Those sound
were
like
so many things that I didn't understand about that film.
Okay.
That I kind of watched it with this sense of kind of confusion of going, okay, so there's an evil intergalactic empire that's ruled by Reddy Redmayne, that guy. And then
Stephen Hawking before he was in a wheelchair.
Yes, that's him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, the dude.
No, but wasn't he the guy in the Danish Girl?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that the
He
name
was
of the
also
movie?
the Danish girl. He's also, Newt's commander or whatever. He's a fantastic.
The guy with the suitcase of stuff in the Harry Potter like movie.
That's the one. Fantastic breasts, and where to find them.
Yeah.
Beasts.
Breasts.
Sorry.
Okay, so what? So other than those two, I mean,
I thought that it was this like it wanted to be a giant, funny, interesting roller coaster ride of interesting characters and flying people on hoverboards and stuff like that, but because I couldn't work out what was happening with the politics of it all and why the girl who cleaned toilets was a princess from space, I got confused, and it did nothing at any point in time to help reground you. So I felt like it just kept on throwing weird shit at me for the whole film, and I never once quite worked out. I never got to get my footing. So when we kept on jumping off things, I kept on just feeling like I was falling for the whole film.
because I guess I just went along for the ride, and what I attempt to do is what audiences that watch Star Wars did, the original Star Wars.
Right.
And that, don't ask too many questions. Just sit down, go for the ride, and when it's done, determine whether or not you enjoyed the ride. Because it seems to me, at least, this is anecdotal, but it seems to me that audiences today can't accept anything. Everything has to be explained. You have to fill in every goddamn gap. if there's a gap between movies, you got to stick a movie between it, explaining what happened between the two movies.
Yeah, everything has to have a prequel. Everything has to have like a explanation all the way. I know what you mean. I just felt like this was one of those ones where they'd gone, okay, look, we trust our audience. We know our audience is smart enough to go with us. So let's just go for broke. And there was not just, I don't know, for my taste, and you know what? I got another friend who I review films with, like my co-host that I do these cult movie nights with. And he thought it was hilarious and fun and really enjoyed it. But at the same time looked at me and just went, I cannot wait to hear what you think of this.
Well, and you may all think it's weird and out of the blue that I bring up Jupiter Ascending, but
no,
there is a movie coming out called Valerian in the World of...
Oh, yeah.
Now, I haven't read the source material there either, but I'm worried because it looks as awesome as Jupiter Ascending, but I don't want to get my hopes too high that there's going to be more of them because I like space movies. I want to see things on a spaceship. I want to see space battles.
What about you, Tricia? I just saw your face then.
Could you hear my eyes roll?
I would echo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when there was a long drought of space movies for a long time, and I'm just now getting back. They're finally coming back.
If there was a drought, then what the hell do we keep going to see?
I can remember being in Prometheus going, finally, a fucking spaceship.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm worried that Valerian is...
I think Valerian has a lot more going for it in the sense that, for a start, Valerian is based on a very, very long-running comic and a very popular comic in France. And
that's why I can't find anything. Got it.
Yeah. There's an artist called Mobius, Jean Girard. You know of him, Kev?
He's worked for the Heavy Metal magazine, which is also started out in France, so that makes sense now that you've said it. And that's also awesome.
I just know about his strip.
Yeah. That's him. That's the one.
Yeah, gotcha.
So Kevin's right. He's big in Heavy Metal magazine, but yeah, like his artwork, in some ways, is what was, I guess, the inspiration for Star Wars. He's been around since the 60s. Yeah. If ever you get a chance, there's some stuff in the new, what's it called, Rebels, Star Wars Rebels.
All right.
That is based directly off his art. Like it's almost ripped straight from the page to the cartoon.
Damn.
Yeah. Sorry, man?
I don't... sorry. Go ahead.
Sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen, but...
Well, because it's all done with love, and they're like, they very, very definitely are tipping the hat to him and going, this is all about Mobius and his artwork.
Which is different than me drawing a Millennium Falcon and calling it the Century Hawk and flying it across my video screen going, ha-ha, it's my ship.
All right.
Similar. But yes, absolutely. You
haven't watched Rebels because it's really hard to find where you're not paying for it. I mean, there's no free options for us.
Oh, really?
We don't. We're capable, or we're cord cutters.
Well, I don't know. Does Netflix count as cable?
No.
We have Netflix.
Well, you can find all of Clone Wars on Netflix. I don't know about Rebels yet.
I've been watching a Clone Wars every now and then, trying to catch up. I'm discovering that what I need to just watch in the Clone Wars are the episodes that I heard about that I really wanted to see.
Because there's some boring shit in there as well.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird political ones where you're like, did you really think this was going to work for a kid's show?
I did appreciate the whole let's not do the yellow scroll for a half-hour cartoon. Let's do the funny 60s radio announcer.
Yeah, he's quite good. I like him. But yes, it makes a lot of sense. Just get through it, do it faster, and get stuck into the story. But yeah, look, Valerian, for a start, okay, directed by Luc Besson, the guy who did Fifth Element.
Yeah, La Femme Nikita and a few other good movies.
Yep. Leon the Professional.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So he's a great director. Yeah. Sorry, I keep talking over you, Kev. I feel bad about it.
I'm saying the same thing, and we're like, yeah, and we're bringing up different movies by the same guy, so that's awesome.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm like, this is your podcast.
Yeah. Hey,
exactly DJ's, but
if you were to go back and watch an average episode that contains Kevin with other of us, Kevin often sits for long periods of time and just nods and smiles, and if we ask him a direct question
about stuff I don't know about, I've got a guy that talks about stuff I know about. It's awesome.
Yes. See, you need to add that to the list of topics when I tell you to add stuff to the topic list.
I did.
Oh.
You'll check the
I
list.
wish I looked at the topic list.
The topic list has 3 items on it, man. 3. I put 2 of them there. She put 4.
Now, let me guess. There's none of them are ones that we've covered yet.
None.
Yes.
Well, like I told DJ earlier, anything that I would want to put on there, he doesn't want to talk about on the podcast, so I can't really contribute anything.
Like what? Tell us something.
I know 0 about everything you're talking about.
Well, what do you talk about? Tell me something. I'm sure that we could talk about what you want to talk about.
No, like everything in my life is like political or yarn.
And you can get into politics with me. I'm already not coming to America.
He won't let it.
I try to leave this non-political so that we don't get a half hate, half not hate thing going on.
Yeah, fair call. Okay. That makes sense. You know what? I'm going to sit up because I've just looked at my picture and going, holy shit, look like Jabba the Hutt. That's better. Look at that. I have a neck.
You do have a neck.
Yeah. See, I was just leaning back on the couch, getting too comfortable. But
I love Watchmen.
Oh, good dude. Yes. See, look at that. That one.
I could see the words the whole time, but
yeah, that one is signed by the director and cast.
Really?
So I enjoyed the theatrical one. I own the extended one, and recently I got the ultimate one to have the cartoon with it. That one is way too long.
I've wondered about that because I always wanted to watch the ultimate cut or whatever. But yeah, I could imagine it could be way too long.
I got to the point where Rorschach was talking to Night Owl for the first time, and I looked at my watch going, oh my God, I still got like 4 hours of this movie left.
Jesus. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's what it felt like. I mean, it felt like I had watched 3 hours of movie and there were 3 or 4 hours to go. It was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the intercut thing. I mean, and it would be better as if it was like a mini series or something, but it's in one sitting. No, I can't do that again.
Yeah, right. I think it was an intriguing concept, and it was like an amazing idea to actually try and translate the comic almost as accurately as you can.
I'm glad that we went with the different ending instead of going with the alien invasion, because that wouldn't have worked on screen.
Yeah, the psychic space squid was a concept that, is very rooted in comic books. And, this was very much a film. And to be honest, I thought the concept of it being Manhattan in the end made so much more sense.
Yeah. Well, I liken the Watchmen adaptation to like what Wanted did. to have a movie about a society of supervillains would not have worked on the screen in any sense at all. The Assassin's
it's so goofy.
angle was way better.
Yeah, like I think out of all of the concepts that you could come up with, the smartest one, and to be honest, I thought thematically the most sensible was to have Dr. Manhattan become the thing that kills everybody, you know, because he's sort of been a ticking time bomb the whole time anyway. And moving further and further away from his humanity, so it makes sense.
And Comedian keeps referencing that as you're getting more distant, Doc.
Yeah, you don't care about people anymore. People are just a collection of atoms.
Do you actively collect comics at the moment?
No, not really. I collect digitally. And that, to be honest, is very, very limited, only in the sense that I collect Injustice.
Okay.
That's just because my friend writes it, and he's a great writer. And there's another one that I'm in this weird thing where I've got friends who are comic book creators, so I kind of just collect what they do because I want to see what they do.
Well, then I'll make sure to send you a copy of the one that I make when I finally get it written and drawn.
Yeah, do it. I love being able to look at the work that people do and comment on it and stuff like that. So, actually, the artist, a friend of mine who lives literally around the corner from me, was doing art on Wonder Woman for quite a while. She did the run recently with Greg Rucka.
Nice.
Yeah, name's Nicola Scott. She's an Australian female comic book artist, which means badass.
Yeah. Rucker. Wasn't he a sci-fi author for a while?
Yeah, Greg's an interesting dude who writes pretty much everything. Like he did a whole bunch of like crimey type stuff, crime fiction, and I think he's done sci-fi as well. Greg Rucka.
Yeah. Wetware, software, like that style is title.
I think so.
Wetworks.
No, that's more Will Portaccio.
Oh, well, I'm spitballing here. The reason I asked about comics is because are you aware of the whole DC trying to integrate Watchmen into the mainstream universe?
Yeah, and I think it's a bad idea.
I'm interested to see where it's going. I'll make judgments once I've seen it.
Right.
What they've done now is just basically drug it out way too long.
Well, yeah, that's been going on for what, a couple of years now?
A year. They put out the initial thing, and then they waited a year to do the Button crossover, which was to talk about the Button in Batman and Flash.
Yeah, I mean that's you really
way to keep on top of that
idea. Sorry,
way to keep on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, from a creative perspective, I fully understand why Alan Moore would probably be, going to DC, because he created the whole Watchmen thing based on a bunch of old comic book characters that nobody wanted, and then turned them into something much more interesting, and told a story that was basically about the end of superheroes. It was deconstructing superheroes as a concept, and then left it the fuck alone.
Well, I mean, if you talk about if there was a sequel to Watchmen, I couldn't even imagine what a story would be. I would love to see what happens when they pick up Rorschach's diary and they're like, "Oh my God, what was going on? What happens to the world then?" But I don't think that should be in a movie.
No, and I mean, they did that thing before Watchmen a couple of years ago, where they got a whole bunch of people, really creative people, and said, "Okay, let's do the prequels to Watchmen."
And I thought that fell way flat. I mean, there was a couple of high spots, but overall it fell way flat.
I think because at its heart, the concept of it is flawed. Leave it alone. You don't need to keep going back to that well, especially because it's about deconstructing superheroes. It's about saying, you know, all of these dudes in suits are basically flawed and mentally fucked up. So, and also it was a response to its time. It was in the 80s. It was during Thatcherism and fucking what's his name?
Reagan.
Yeah, you know you know what? At the moment, I think comics could very easily be an interesting response to the politics of our time. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get into the politics or anything like that.
Hey, I said I try. I don't always say I'm successful.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I think, you know, comics could very easily be talking about, you know, where we're at and the world stage and everything. But I also don't think Watchmen is necessarily the way to do that, the way to explore that. Also, I feel like, you know, every time they dig it back up, it's just, you know, just putting another nail into Alan Moore, and, you know.
He's already fairly pissed off.
Yeah, well, the dude's, you know, essentially said fuck you to DC and fuck you to the Hollywood and fuck you to everyone else because his shit's never been treated with respect. So, yeah.
I didn't mean to sway away from the Greg Rucka conversation because I want him to feel included.
I can't find the one that you were talking about, Kev.
No, I just know the name, so I know he was like an author, and
yeah, well,
cyberpunk.
Yeah, he's like a prose author as well as
what do you want?
a comic book author. And I cannot find. There's Alpha and Bravo. There's a heap of, like, he's got a crazy long list of stuff that he's written. It's ridiculous. In fact, I'm still scrolling.
Yeah.
I don't want to air your laundry on the air, but didn't you have to go put it in the dryer?
Yes, thank you. You did. You are correct. I will be 5 minutes while I do that, which will mean that Kevin now has a chance to talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? In that case, I'm going to be quiet.
Well, I will be back in 5 minutes.
All right.
Anything I wouldn't do, okay? Thanks. Actually, you know what? Just while I'm gone, I'm just going to put a decent replacement.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Is that Raph?
Yeah. There we go. That's just going to be to keep you happy while I'm away. I'm just going to see if I can get him to bend forwards a little bit. Oh, damn it. Right. I just think it's really important that you're not, you know, be missing me too much. Of course, he's going to fall over halfway through.
It might happen. That'll be exciting.
If he face plants onto the camera, I'm sorry. But
I did see, Kevin, I did see that you added something. I don't know when you added it, but it wasn't the hour before that I looked, because I looked and then I started setting up the show.
All right.
Now, do you mean now for the fans, you put on retro emulations? You mean like video games?
Yeah, figured like, you know, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like the old school arcade stuff. So
we have a retro gaming convention here, so a lot of the old cabinets, the actual cabinets of these old games, come to Portland. So
really,
well,
yeah, you mentioned that.
It's called the Retro Gaming Expo, and it happens in October or November. And I volunteer for it every year. And they have a gigantic setup of the cabinet games, like he mentioned. They also have tons and tons of pinball machines. And then they have old TVs set up in like little living rooms with Ataris and older things like
Ataris, Nintendos, and televisions. I mean, old systems to play those games.
And then they, like, I know they did, I think, a Tetris.
Yeah, there's that's both times actually there was a Tetris competition.
Yeah, competition. I couldn't think of the word. And then they have like a museum that they set up of stuff you can go look at and talk to experts about. And then they also have speakers. They have a lot of YouTube personalities that we don't have any clue of who they are. And then they also have a lot of people that used to work for Atari that come and speak and do panels.
Nice.
The reason, there are a handful of games that I long to play often. One of them is Time Pilot 84, which is the sequel to Time Pilot.
Wasn't that there?
That was at the last retro gaming convention, and as soon as I found it, as long as there was nobody behind me, I was playing non-stop.
Oh, I forgot to mention that all of the games are free play. You pay to get in. You pay like maybe $10 for the whole convention for the day, and you can play everything for free and go to all the panels and stuff.
Nice.
Now, I'm a huge pinball fan, so I go find I try as many of the pinball machines as I can, but I find a couple that I really like, and I just kind of hang out around them. So I pinball a lot. But when I found Time Pilot 84, I almost dropped a deuce.
All right. Have you ever heard of Retro Pi?
Is it an emulator?
It's actually, the Raspberry Pi?
Yeah.
It's like the OS that allows you to emulate, like, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, arcade games, stuff like that, Sega Genesis. I just downloaded it onto my Raspberry Pi, and I'm looking to check it out tomorrow or Monday. So
you let me know what you play, because among the other games that I often talk about is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I don't like the Punch-Out, just that brand. I like the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
All right. I'll see if I can look it up for you.
Now, keep in mind also that I have a Mac, so emulation is a much more difficult thing on my machine, because that is not designed to operate with emulators.
All right. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just like, the different operating system.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Let me actually go get something that I could show you online and the audience.
Yes. Okay, well, while you're going, I will name the games that are high on my list from Retro, which are Time Pilot 84, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, the original Zelda, Sinistar. There's another Sinistar-like game that I like. It's I like Ikari Warriors. Oh God, I was never. I mean, if it was a mainstream game, I wasn't super big into it. I will say that I am still undefeated by a human opponent in Double Dribble.
Really?
Yeah. One guy came close, but he started doing some weird shit, and I just completely blew by him score-wise, and he just couldn't catch back up. No human being has ever beaten me at Double Dribble.
Nice. Now, I've got what I want to show you. For reference, in terms of, like, physical size, here's my cell phone.
Okay.
It's a Galaxy S6 Edge. This is what it runs on.
And that's the Raspberry Pi?
Yep. Well, this is the Pi. This is the case, but it runs all, like, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, arcade stuff from, like, yesteryear. So, it's, something I'm looking into. But, I will definitely look into doing the whole Time Pilot 84 for you.
And this, I'm just spitballing here, is that maybe one time while we're recording, I'll just have your screen up the whole time, and you can just be playing video games if you have a way to screencast it.
All right.
Because Bob and I used to talk for hours and hours on end while she was cooking. And
the camera would be on the cooking.
Yeah, we wouldn't be on us at all.
I remember that.
Ah, those were the days. I suggest cooking again, but it's going to be all the same food because, well, we haven't really expanded our.
If you if you go on a Sunday afternoon, though, I could actually make food.
Oh, that's sweet.
Again, because I don't want to cook
at this late
at
hour.
7:30 p.m.
A little inside baseball for everybody. We are thinking about moving to a different time slot, which would be a daytime Sunday type thing, but that's still in discussions. So there is that possibility.
So yeah.
You let the whole ring around, and then you just need to attach it.
No, I'm making a hat.
Oh.
And it's actually going to go on this way. So I got a long ways to go.
Long ways to go.
Okay, I'm back.
Woo!
How did he go? Was he a good guest? Did he say everything that he was meant to say?
He wasn't done with his story. You interrupted him.
Maybe I'll fight a poem, maybe I won't. Adrian!
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got nothing. There you go. You've now seen my my love of action figures in action, so to speak. Right. Sorry, I'm going back to the sitting on the couch thing where I look like Jabba the Hutt.
That's fine. Hey, embrace it. I do.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? I heard the term Raspberry Pi. So which being the case, can I have some?
Well, if I have some, you mean some of this? Yeah.
Look at that. That's pretty.
Well, thank you.
Did you build it?
No, I wish I did. I don't have that technical knowledge. So, it's actually a little computer on a board. So.
And you're talking about emulation, is that right?
Yeah. So, he was talking about video games and whatnot, and one of his games is Star Pilot from way back when.
Time 84.
Star Pilot 84, I'm sorry.
Time Pilot 84.
We were talking about space. I'm sorry, I've had a few beers. No.
Well, either or. So, hang on. So, Time Pilot from 1984, was it an arcade game or?
Yeah, it was a cabinet arcade game. I don't even remember how Time Pilot played, but Time Pilot 84, you're on this screen and there's things flying by. It's very procedurally. I mean, it's all generated it's on rails basically, and there are things shooting missiles at you. And then after a while, after you're on this thing and you're basically shooting nonstop and flying around, this big thing comes to come destroy you, and you have to launch one of your special missiles into it and blow it up, and then you go into the future is what I think of it as, and then you're in the next stage, and then you do the same thing. And as a youth, I never got super far, but we have a retro gaming convention here, and the cabinet was here the last time, and I got way farther than I remember ever getting as a youth. So
you got mad skills as an adult.
Well, yeah, or I just remembered how to do it because it's like falling out of a tree. You're never going to forget how.
I'm actually just looking at a little piece of it now. And okay, so it's sort of like a Robotron type thing where you can move in any direction. And then
you get two buttons, one that fires just the regular lasers and one that fires the special missiles. And I know you have a limited number of the special missiles because I remember as a youth running out of the special missiles and having to ram the thing to go to the future next level, which of course removes one of your lives.
Right. But it was probably worth it.
I need to sign up.
Sign up.
The Retro Gaming Expo this year is October 20th through the 22nd.
That's cool.
Plan your vacations accordingly.
This is and this is in Portland, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I volunteer at it.
Okay, cool. And
By
do
the
they
way-
get like actual like cabinets and stuff like that?
They have a huge area. Most of the floor in the convention center is set up as open play, and the arcade hours, like Friday it's 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then Saturday the arcade's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you basically pay your admission to get in, and the games are all set to free play.
That's cool.
And there's some newer ones, but most of them are the older arcade games. And then there's a whole area for pinball machines, which is the reason I originally started going. And
You're a Tommy, are you? You're a pinball wizard?
I am a pinball wizard. At the mini mart in our hometown, there was a Terminator.
Our hometown in North Dakota.
In North Dakota,
Right.
when we were in school, was a Terminator 2 Judgment Day arcade pinball machine.
Ooh.
I got so good at it that I was playing the machine on the 1/4 for multiples of hours, and somebody came in and they slapped their quarter down. I'm like, no, you can just have mine. And then I walked away, and they come to take over. I had all the high scores. They come to take over. I'm like, how long have you been playing? You're still on the first ball, and your score is huge. I'm like, I've been playing for a couple hours. Just take it. I'm like, oh my god.
Nice.
Well, I mean, you're bored sometimes, and you just want to play pinball.
That is really cool, though. That's I'm impressed by it. I always like a lot of the kind of classic arcade games. You know, they were more fun. They were heaps of fun to do and like play. I'm trying to work out how do I do this. If I do that,
You're going to show us something? Oh, yeah.
There you go. This is Time Pilot, right?
Yeah. Is it Time Pilot or is it?
This is Time Pilot 84.
Okay, yeah. So that big thing that was coming towards you, and behind that little guy there was the big spaceship that you need to blow up.
Right.
Yeah, I love this game.
See, yeah, I loved. I mean, I think just the whole process of arcade gaming was one of those great things about growing up. You know, that you played it in a social. So that big one, that's the big guy.
Blow up to go into the. Hopefully they do it so they can see it.
Right. Okay. Oh, yep. Yeah.
Here you go. Such hokey. Yeah. So I mean, this just keeps going. It's the same thing for levels and levels and levels.
Right. That's cool. Now, how do I stop screen sharing?
There should be a stop button on the top. There you go.
Well, that's leave a call. Turn camera off.
Up higher on the green part.
It's up on the green. There's nothing on the green part. God damn it.
Well, then hit the screen share button on the side, and there you go.
I think is that better?
Yes.
Look at me use technology.
So we have covered
Pretty cool for an IT guy.
We've now covered one of the items on the topic checklist.
Sweet, awesome. So, Kevin, what's your favorite games to emulate?
Nintendo games like that era, early gaming for the console, but you know.
Yeah, actually, I will show you. No, not the review. I don't want the review. I just want to show you. Here we go. I will show you this because it is super, super goddamn pretty. This is if we're talking about emulation, this is where it's at. Yeah, that one. Okay, so this is Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap.
Ooh,
now, do you remember Wonder Boy on the Sega Master System?
Vaguely. I've heard of it, and I know my friend had it. I never got to play it, though.
Right. Well, basically, you know, the Sega Master System was like the competitor to the NES.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, it was similar kind of grunt, similar kind of power and everything, but you know, totally different set of games and didn't have the backing of Nintendo in Japan and everything. And they released these games that were kind of, I guess, the equivalent of the I guess, the Mario games, these Wonder Boy games. And they got to this one, which is Wonder Boy 3, where instead of it just being jumping on things and running around, it turned into almost a fully fledged, I suppose, well, I guess you'd say, adventure game.
Yeah, looks it.
But yeah, it was awesome because like throughout the course of the game, you turned into different animals. So at this point, you're a mouse. Also,
I was totally paying attention to the dude with the horn.
Yeah, the Cyclops.
Yeah, well, this and you know it's all animals and stuff, and so yeah, you're a little dragon dude or you're a little mouse guy. I'm trying to find any of the other bits where like you're the lion or the bird. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff as the dragon. But this there you go, Fishman. But this version is the one that they recently released on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll see if I can find the actual original Wonder Boy. Here. Yeah, there you go. And we won't have any of the audio. Thank you very much.
Hey, you know what? I need to know, do your videos load differently in Australia? Like, do they load
backwards?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. There we go. Is that
They load from the end first?
Yeah.
Yeah. They go down the gurgler just as fast though when they're not funny.
Wow.
So yeah, here's a little bit more of the game, but I really want to get to the point where they show you what the game originally looked like. Because the cool thing on the Switch is that there you go.
Wow.
So and you can switch between the old game and the new game at any point in time. And you can switch between the music and the sound effects of the old and new games as well.
That's cool.
It's super, super funky. Like it's such a pretty game, and it's been updated so spectacularly. But then, yeah, anytime you want, just go whoop and go straight through to the old version. It's awesome. Oh, sweet! They even have debug modes and stuff. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop that because I'm now killing the conversation spectacularly.
No. Well, and while you were gone, I said that if Kevin next week wants to like play a video game, we'll just have that up the whole time while we're talking. That would work too.
Well, it's kind of like the Let's Plays and stuff like that people do, and that's one of the things that we do for Periodic Table as well. We on Tuesday nights we do a Twitch stream.
Nice.
So you should have some Twitch knowledge here. Can you save Twitch videos?
Not really. Like they are around for a week or thereabouts.
Download them?
Sorry?
Is there any way to download them?
Probably.
Do they host them like YouTube?
My brother linked his Twitch account to our Amazon Prime account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he could tell you something.
Because the other Kevin that's not on tonight, we've suggested that he plays Final Fantasy XIV, which is what he's playing in the background most of the time. And he says he knows how to Twitch it, but I'm like, I wonder how we can make it show up here.
Well, look, I'll do that thing where I share my screen again, and show you. This is like the Periodic Tables Twitch stream. So at the moment it shows as being offline because we're not doing it. But then there's like these are the last video that we did, and I'm not going to play the audio because it's boring. And so by the looks of it, it keeps the last two.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. Let's go to all videos. All videos? Yeah, okay. So by the looks of it, it keeps the last two. And as you can see, we've done 17 of them. So in terms of can you download them, I don't know. I've never tried. But a lot of people have actually said to us, hey, why don't you do whatchamacallit? Why don't you do YouTube? Because it is a little more permanent.
What system do you guys use to play it?
PlayStation.
Okay, so here's my experience with the PlayStation 4 and streaming to YouTube.
Okay.
The controller does allow you to plug in a headphone and microphone to talk, but it's only with the headphone jack. So basically, it's a headphone microphone combination.
Yeah.
I don't own a gaming specific headset, so I was using something from an old phone.
Okay.
And I didn't have a way to make my voice louder and the game noise lower. So that to me was a big drawback. So when Kevin was suggesting he was going to do it, I told him to get a gaming specific one. And then maybe there's a setting I'm not aware of to turn the game noise down.
There are settings kind of in your chat settings and party settings that you can determine how much of the audio of the game is coming through to your headset. And I think that's what gets recorded. I'm not entirely sure. It's yeah.
Because I would love to stream stuff too, but I want to talk during it, and I can't get the volume that I need for me to talk, because I'm certainly not going to scream the whole time, and somebody wouldn't be happy with that.
No, well, I ended up, because I was gaming a lot, actually spending the money and getting a set of the Astros. Whichever way is up, I can't actually tell that way. Yeah, the A50s, and they're really, really nice. Sorry.
I was just asking him. He has a set of Beats headphones that he could plug in. I've got those cat ear ones. I wonder if those are more gaming.
It's possible. I mean, if I can figure out the settings, maybe I can just make it naturally lower. I was trying to play No Man's Land while I was doing it, No Man's Sky, and that is an absolute. That's something you can absolutely talk at length about, because you can go different places and do stuff.
Yeah, interesting place / game, No Man's Sky. I think it was a great concept. I don't know whether it necessarily translated 100% well, but yeah, in terms of background gaming, yeah, it'd be perfect.
Well, they also used to watch me cook while they talked.
And you know what? That's really popular.
If you go back to our episodes in the late 40s, 50s, and 60s, I think that's when she was doing most of the cooking.
Yeah, I think I remember them as late as like 74, 75. I think.
We did it for a really long time, and basically we made every recipe that we had.
But I didn't just do recipes, because I made a lot of my own condiments and stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's tougher now if we did that, because we did that in our house before we moved, and it was a house that had a kitchen separated from the rest of the living room, dining room, everything by a wall. And now we're in a condo, and the kitchen is open. So he has to go in the bedroom, because if I'm using my mixer, it's pretty loud.
Well, it's super loud.
Yeah, it is. Right. And so that doesn't quite work, but
yeah, it's weird. Like if you can do it, people love watching other people cook and stuff like that. It's strange. But and Twitch is one of the fastest growing platforms. People, though, apparently to be big on Twitch, to be Twitch famous or whatever, you got to put in crazy hours.
Yeah.
Bill Nye's new show on Netflix. We just watched a video game. It was about a video game addiction, or game addiction. I don't know, video game addiction, something like that. And she was a YouTube star, and she said that she had to put in crazy hours to get to where she's at, and all kinds of development, and now she's doing it full time, but she needed a lot of effort put into it. Yeah,
years to get to that,
to get where she's at,
where it was her job that supported her financially, versus it being just a side thing.
Yeah, well, we talked to a guy about it, and he said, look, if you want to be big on Twitch, you essentially need to do 4 to 6 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Damn.
Yeah. I was just like, really?
That's second job.
Oh, yeah. You know, 4 hours a day, I think, is kind of ridiculous. 6 hours, you're like, that is second job. That is.
Yeah.
Well, good news, Quinny. When we win the lottery,
Yeah.
I'm gonna build a podcast studio. I'm gonna fly everybody here, and you're all going to be my employees. And I'm gonna let you podcast / play games all day long. It's all gonna be content.
Just content all the time.
Yes.
Sweet. That sounds good.
We're going to build a lab to house you all in with cameras everywhere. And
So wait,
there'll be experiments where, you know, a cupcake will appear in the corner of the room, and we'll see how long it takes you to figure it out while playing a video game.
I wasn't aware of this part of the process, but
Is this all being done for science?
Yes.
I am okay with it.
I'm Cave Johnson, and I approve of this.
I've really wanted my best friend to be physically present because I haven't seen him in 20 years.
Wow.
Basically, we were in the Navy
We're
together.
like 23.
Well, over 20 years, and we were in the Navy together, and we haven't physically seen each other since. So I mean, other than over video, but I mean, I have not been in the same place as he has in over 20 years.
That's impressive. So, like, you still talk regularly, and
there was a gap there because there was a weird time because I was engaged to a girl that it was weird. He ended up marrying her after I got rid of her, and we both had the same experience. That was fun. Glad I'm not stuck with it now.
Oh right. So okay, you've so he's no longer with her either.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's moved on also.
Right. Okay.
Like with my ex-wife, I say that I upgraded. So he has also upgraded from his ex-wife.
Yeah, I'm the upgrade. In case you didn't get that.
I figured on that because you're here and he's talking, and you're not stabbing
Normally,
him.
I make an offer to people because you're in Australia. The postage would be weird. So if you ever felt like crapping into a clear plastic bag and you wanted to mail to somebody, I would give you my ex-wife's address.
Look, you know what? The level of weird that would be. A, crapping into a bag, not my thing. But B, I mean, by the time that the postal system got it there, it'd be extra, extra special nasty.
Yeah, it would.
He
deserves every drop of it.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have upgraded to the knitting wonder.
I also like to say that maybe you've met my ex-wife. You know, red, goatee, horns, has a tail.
Appeared at the end of Pick of Destiny.
Yeah.
Good call. Good reference.
I literally watched that little bit yesterday, and I was like, that's fun.
So, anyways, I'm going to go undrink a drink again. I'll be back. So
good. Enjoy. Are you standing, Kev?
Yes. No,
right.
I
was concerned. You looked uncomfortable.
I've got bad knees, so I have to change my position.
Oh, right. I think, wait, was that the whole helicopter jumping, or am I thinking of something else? I know he was in the military too.
Yeah, Kevin was in the Army. I was in the Navy. Bob, who was also on once in a while, was in the Navy with me. So my knees are terrible because they made us run all the time. Kevin's knees are terrible because he jumped out of perfectly good aircraft.
No, they were Air Force. They were not perfectly good. They were barely functional.
Okay.
And I also ran, but I'll be back shortly.
Well, I wasn't even in the Navy or the Air Force, but my knees are screwed, as are, my hips and everything. But that's just genetics. It's because, genetics.
Every part of me is defective.
No. Are you sure you traded
a
up?
lot of ailments. I like to joke that I have a lemon and I need to trade her in for a new model.
His upgrade is a lemon. Yeah.
Oh.
My most recent
You know what? I'm gonna undrink a drink.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you with her.
Are you sure you trust me?
Yes.
My most recent living hell was about a month and a half where I pulled my back and couldn't walk, stand, lay, sit, crawl, and was in the emergency room twice because it hurt so bad. So that was my fun.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was.
I have had occasional moments of extraordinary pain where things have gone wrong, and you just go, "Oh God!" It affects everything in your life, doesn't it? It means you can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I get migraines. I was trying to determine which was worse, like back pain. We actually bought a Lazy Boy recliner. Like that's how serious it was because I couldn't get in and out of bed and I couldn't lay down. So I ended up sleeping in a Lazy Boy for like 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
But I kind of say like I don't know which is worse, having a migraine or the nonstop back pain like that, because with a migraine, like you can't even have your eyes open, or at least I can't. And so at least with the back pain, I can still use my hands, which if I can't use my hands, I tend to go a little crazy.
Right. Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
Nasty. Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I'm pleased to say I've never ever experienced a migraine. Touch wood. But they seem so debilitating. Like just massively.
My most recent one started on like a early Tuesday afternoon. Lasted an entire like Wednesday, and then finally started letting up Thursday morning. And I now have my first pair of prescription sunglasses ever, so I often end up wearing them in the house.
Oh, right.
Just to help, because it feels like somebody's trying to stab your eyeballs with a dull fork.
Oh.
So yeah, I've had migraines. I've had migraines for at least 20 years.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, about the same length of being married.
No relation at all.
None whatsoever. Nope. So can you explain to me what your logo means?
Okay, so this is a window.
Yes.
There's the moon out, and then I like to think that this ghost, who I keep changing his name, but I don't know what his name is yet. I keep thinking he's like popping in going, "What you doing in there?" So,
right.
I used to own limeflavored.com.
Okay.
And I had my favorite logo. I switched away from it, and I never went back to it, and I was kind of sad about it. But I wanted back pain. I wanted to rebrand myself because I owned that one for like 10, 12, some odd years, and it was just I never did anything super with it. So
yeah,
I wanted to rebrand. I bought emeraldspectre.com, and then I designed this logo. I knew I wanted a ghost, and I thought I ran a couple of ideas by my tester here. Right. And the one that she liked was the one that had the window. So then I'm like, I just started doing window ones, and of all of the quote unquote terrible ideas I had, this was the one that passed the test. So that's okay. If you look on my website, I design logos. I ran a simulated soccer league for a while, and I designed all the logos because I love making logos.
Okay, cool. So, okay, then, well, you know, while you have the completely natural thing, what is your website?
emeraldspectre.com.
All one word?
All one word. Oh, and you have to spell Spectre with an E, both E's.
Specter?
Yes.
.com. I'm typing it in. Do. Okay, there we are. Right.
It should be very Art Deco at the moment. That's the.
It is. It is very Art Deco.
I Art Decoed it, and I want to leave it alone for a while so that I can work on other things. And then the most recent release. Do you know what a bullet journal is?
A beg pardon?
A bullet journal?
No. Sounds dangerous.
No. You can check it out. Bulletjournal.com when you have time. This guy, Ryder Carroll, invented a system of organization that is analog instead of digital. So he basically he uses a Lectern 1917 notebook. In my case, I got a dotted one, so there's dots all over the page.
What happened? Oh,
sorry. Right. I'm grabbing one of his other ones so that you can see what he's saying.
So I started playing. Well, I started playing with it, and then a couple of months, I was kind of having a really hard time keeping up with it, and it was it seemed like a chore rather than helping me organize anything. And then I came up with this brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a better person, therefore I will create a role-playing game using the bullet journal for self-improvement. So my latest release is the shorthand for bullet journal is Bujo. So I have released the Bujo RPG.
I'm looking at your website now. Looking at it.
When you have time, you should totally check that out. So that I sent that to Ryder Carroll. Actually, I just sent it to bulletjournal.com, and I was just hoping that somebody would read something. But Ryder Carroll himself emailed me back. He goes, I loved this. This made my day. And then he asked me to do a write-up for bulletjournal.com. So I'm going to get a whole lot more exposure as soon as I get this thing written up.
Because next month's focus
is fun, and that is what the role-playing game is all about. So now, when I sit down to do, I want to make sure I do this because I get XP for I can earn levels and stuff for doing this.
Right. So you're using gamification to make the journal thing work.
Yes, I've released the base system, and right now, my bullet journaling personally, I am role-playing. I am using the Bujo RPG.
Yeah.
But rather than me do a start like a 0 to 20 million XP, I keep resetting mine because I'm testing systems to expand. So one of the systems I have is like I call it the quest system. So you choose something, like for me was learn Vietnamese.
Right.
So then if I learn one phrase, I get 100 XP. If I learn 5 more phrases, so 6 total, I get 500 XP. If I learn 10 more phrases, so 16 total, I get 1,000 XP.
Okay.
And then if I, we only have your profile picture now. I don't know why, but
sorry, I tried to share something.
Yeah, it's got the little icon. Maybe it's trying to catch up.
I'm showing your website, so.
People can go to emeraldspectre.com.
They could, but it's much more exciting if I scroll.
That is true.
But you know what? If that doesn't work, I'll stop doing it.
No, it did. Yeah. It did work.
It popped up right when you quit.
God damn it!
So right now, so that the quest system, and then I've got a couple more levels that give me 10,000 XP and 50,000 XP.
Okay.
And 50, basically, I have to feel confident in myself that I can hold a decent conversation in Vietnamese.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm currently working on behind the scenes is I'm breaking the quest system into 2 groups. Stuff that you can do basically over the course of a week, and then long-term stuff. So I can't learn a language in 7 days. So that's going to be long-term. Maybe I'm trying to write 50,000 words for a novel, like the NaNoWriMo novel. So let's make that into a short-term goal. So you got 30 days to complete it. So I'm kind of breaking things up like that.
Right. Okay, cool. That sounds really funky.
And if you just tried out bullet journaling and you weren't, I mean, if it worked for you, because I've introduced a lot of people to it, and they've either taken to it or they haven't. And then now that my Bujo RPG is out, I've thrown that at people, and I haven't gotten any responses about that. But the people that heard about it that weren't willing to check it out at first kept like, I'll check it out when you put it out. Well, it's out now, so let's get going, people.
Yeah. Well, have you told them? Have you told them that it's out?
I've told everybody. I ask her. I can't shut up about it.
That's okay. If it's something you're passionate about, then it's okay to talk about it a lot.
Yes. So one of my quests is to write my comic script. So I've been working on a shared superhero universe for the better part of 30 years.
Wow.
It started out a long time ago as basically just a bunch of rip-off characters interacting with each other, and has gone in. I've developed it into what the current iteration right now is. It's completely original characters, and I've got a Marvel Phase 1 like story that I got to tell.
Right.
So the first installment, and I keep pitching this to people. Hopefully, I can get an artist on here. That would be wonderful because I don't think my art is right for the material.
Right.
I've got a ambiguously gray team of it's made up of a zombie, a ninja, a werewolf, a vampire, a pirate, a mutant. I'm missing somebody. But
on tenterhooks here, man.
That's the team, man. That's the team.
Okay. So what's it? You've written a lot. You're still looking for an artist.
I haven't written the script. I know what the story is. I just need to put it in script form because I refuse to do things the Marvel method.
Good. Let's be honest. I don't even know how the hell you do that. I don't know how that's a thing that people do.
You know, maybe did you create a comic book as a youth, just a tiny little staple some pages
I did.
together?
Yes,
so
most definitely.
I think that almost all of us have. So,
Kevin?
Somehow I feel left out.
No, I didn't either.
All right. So anyway, I went so far as to make 6 issues of this wonderful comic. But if I'd have kept going from that point, maybe I could do the Marvel method, because the way I was doing it, I was just kind of drawing it on the fly. So,
yeah, right.
But some point in my past, I realized I am not going to make it in the world of art in comics. So I might want to start working on the writing aspect.
Right.
But I can't get an artist on, so I'm going to attempt, once I write my script, because I'm going to do it's just going to be a self-contained story, just a full graphic novel, 100 and however many pages it needs to be, put it out.
Yeah.
Start working on the next one. So one of my quests is to write X number of pages, and then the last part of that quest is finish script.
Yeah, right.
And then I can add the script. So then, then I'm just, translating the words into pictures.
See, that's cool. I have done that thing where we, Dion and I, one of the other projects, because he's kind of not my muse, but my main collaborator. And we've been working on a comic book that we've been trying to get up and running for ages. But yeah, same thing. We got like the big arcs mapped out and got ideas as to who the characters are and what they do, and probably worked out, down to roughly how many issues per arc and everything like that. But yeah, it is that thing of making the decision to go, okay, now we're writing the script, and yeah, and then finding the artist, because art's expensive.
It is expensive, and I'm going to suggest something here. I think that you and I should pool our resources here, because maybe your stuff will fit into what I'm working on, or maybe my stuff will fit into what you're working on, or maybe I can just write a script for you and be part of the process on your side.
I would like that. That would be fun. I will tell you, and the concept is a simple one, and unfortunately, probably when we had the idea 5 years ago or whatever, it was very, very original. Now it's not perhaps as well, I don't know. It's still an original idea, but basically, we wanted to call it Henchmen, and it was all about not the superheroes or anything like that, but the secret world of the henchmen.
Oh, she's got something to show you here in a minute. Okay, so but like the people that help the Green Goblin and the people that help Doctor Doom, not Dr.
Exactly.
Doom.
Yeah. Who are those guys? And what happens to the henchmen that have been knocked out too many times by the good guys? Do they have health care?
So
when you sign up to work for the Joker, do you get a 401k?
I don't think so, but before you keep going on, one of the Comic-Cons in town here is the Rose City Comic-Con, and Rose City Comic-Con volunteers are known as...
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I'm a henchman.
She is a henchman.
That's super cool.
So if you're wondering what they do in their off time, I guess...
They volunteer at comic conventions.
Yeah. Those are the only 3 days a year that I work. But yeah.
Right. That's cool. That's super cool.
So yeah, we all have these shirts, and then that's the back of them.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So
man,
I like the idea because there's potential for humor, but it sounds like that would be a mostly humorous book.
Mostly, there are sort of big arcs that are not humorous at all and are quite dark and sad. But I also can't talk about it any further without Dion being here because he will probably hit me and go, "Shut up! Don't tell everybody."
Well, and so my first launch, the big team, they're you think of them as a hit squad for a mafia boss.
Yeah.
Which is why they're ambiguously gray.
Yes.
Morally ambiguous. That's morally was what I was talking about. So
yes.
I can't get into too many super details, but there's a lot of people are figuring out that the old ways aren't going to work anymore, so they start upgrading.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
It's a mystery, and that's only the tip of the iceberg because I start going into the actual superheroes then.
Okay. And it's funny because, I think when you start the world building of these things around superheroes, there is the danger that even though you're trying to focus on other aspects of the world, you do start focusing on who the superheroes are because they are interesting. Did you ever see that series? God, what's it called now? It's just been cancelled. Powerless.
In fact, when you started talking about what do the henchmen do, I immediately went to the episode where she's dating the henchman.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. So many of the ideas that we've had and talked about and stuff like that are now starting to appear because superheroes are now such a huge part of, pop culture everywhere.
My ideas are to not do I only have one straight up superhero. I mean, it's what he wants to do. It's what he's going to do. That's the way it is. The other things I want to try to make, I want to do what Marvel's done. Captain America isn't necessarily a superhero in the movies. He's a spy, and he is he's more interesting on screen than he has been in the comics.
Oh god, yeah, and it's interesting, that they felt the need to do that. That the realization that actually, significantly more interesting if they are, as you say, either a spy or, in the case of Ant-Man, a thief.
The thief, and Thor is more about figuring out how to act and be in charge than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is all about, I didn't realize this world existed, and oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. I like Doctor Strange, but I still feel like they could have done more with that whole, like, the process of him learning was all done in a montage, and I'm like, that's actually the most interesting part of that character.
I think they handled it well in that it was him coming to grips with this other dimension, and then like him like trying to relate back to his normal everyday doctor life. And that's when the things got interesting for him and the story. And the next level would be him realizing that's no longer him. Hence the end credit scene with Dr. Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So.
Yeah, no, look, I agree. I just think that, like, to me, the most interesting part about having a modern doctor, like a medical doctor, be faced with all of this otherworldly stuff is kind of the incredulity, the questioning, the why is this, I don't understand this magic. But they did so much of that in the montagey bit of him learning how to be a magician or whatever. I'm like, no, do that as the film. The bit where he's super powerful and can use magic and everything, to me, is less interesting than him questioning it.
Well, they did with that film what I always hate about what filmmakers do. So the best example I have is Blade.
Yep.
The first Blade, you are going up against the blood god. How do you pop a blood god? Well, let's go off and make other weird shit happen. And then let's bring Triple H in for the third one.
Oh, dear.
Don't shoot for the moon. For God's sakes, you can make an interesting story of how he's figuring this out, and then put him up against a Caecilius, just Caecilius, not Dormammu.
Yeah.
And then, do Dormammu for the sequel.
Yeah, give yourself somewhere to go. In some ways, I thought that's kind of what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a little bit. I thought, have you guys watched it yet?
Yes.
Not yet.
He has. Kevin hasn't watched it yet, but we have.
But please, feel free, talk about it. I know what happened, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, basically, there's the whole thing that it's all about Ego, the living planet.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at that and went, it would have been, to me, I think it would have been more interesting to do another villain, maybe build up the whole Thanos thing more in this second film, and then leave off on Peter Quill's parentage, if you will, until a third film.
And now that they've done the Ego, I'm wondering what they're going to do for the third, because the next time we see the Guardians is going to be in Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah, and once again, I feel like we're going to come into Infinity War with a fairly weird sort of sense of not too sure who Thanos is or why he's a threat or anything. And to me, it would have made a lot more sense to build him up in your second Guardians film, make him kind of this giant undefeatable bad guy, so that when you come into Infinity War, you're like, oh shit, this is really big.
Or use him like you did with Ronan, but have him more involved rather than just the face on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff where I feel like he's been put too far into the background. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have used that movie more as a part of the building up for the big crossover films, as opposed to, I don't know, the whole Ego of the Living Planet thing and Quill's dad. I was like, I don't know, felt too soon.
I thought it was weird that they made him a Celestial.
Well, that too, because that's not necessarily how I always saw Celestials as working.
Well, they even show a Celestial in the first Guardians. The guy he
The
slams
head.
the spear down. Yeah. No, well, that too. Nowhere is a Celestial head, but no, they show the let's see, the Collector shows the recap of that guy slamming the staff down, killing everybody. That's a Celestial. I think that was the Judge even, or the Executioner. Executioner.
Yeah, right. I've got to go back and rewatch Guardians. I can't remember the first one that well. What a terrible task I have ahead of me.
So the first one, okay. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I'm Groot.
We are Groot.
We are Groot.
I'm glad they kind of did Groot the way they did, where we got to see him as a big, heavy hitter, and then now we get to see him as the small, and he's going to be big again for Infinity War.
Yeah, I also like the idea of teenage Groot. Just leaving his roots all around the place, and just like, God damn it.
So, Kevin Feige has said that after the Thanos thing is done, the next phases deal with an even bigger threat. And what I'm thinking, me personally, what I'm thinking is they have made the deal with Fox to bring in the Fantastic Four, which means we can get Galactus proper.
I would like to see that, but in some ways, I mean, I can't even imagine Galactus in that version of the Marvel Universe. I'd love to see it as, Galactus as the giant, 1,000-foot tall dude in a purple suit. But
I didn't mind the Cloud, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I understood people's upsettedness with the amorphous Cloud, and then of course they do the Green Lantern movie with the big Cloud. And I'm like, oh, you just screwed that up right there.
That Green Lantern movie, oh man.
I liked it. So, but I'm one of there's two people in this world.
Yeah.
There's the people that go, like me, there should have been more space involved. And then the opposite is there should have been more Earth involved.
Yeah, look, I'm kind of with you on the space thing. Like, and once again, why would you introduce Parallax in the first film? Like, do Sinestro, do, a smaller villain that...
Well, okay, so I think they should have used the source material of Emerald Dawn, which was the retelling of the Green Lantern's origin. And in that, 6 issues, I think, 6 or 12, somewhere in there, he is fighting a being known as Legion who's wearing yellow armor. So he can't affect that, and he has to figure out how to beat Legion and be a Green Lantern at the time. And then... yeah, then do Sinestro for the second movie, then bring Parallax in, because why? You don't start with the Blood God.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a... And I mean, you kind of look at it, I think that's why they were very smart with, like, Batman Begins and Into the Dark Knight. Start with Al Ghul, that's fine. And then Joker in the second film.
I've never been a Joker fan until Heath Ledger.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, he's damn good.
I hate him in the comics. I hated him on every version on screen. I tolerated him for the 66 Batman. But
Cesar Romero.
But I've never liked him. And I hate Jared Leto's version.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I just got a new PlayStation. I upgraded to a PlayStation Pro. And so I was looking at Netflix and seeing if I could find what there is in the way of, like, high-def 4K content and stuff like that.
Do you have a 4K TV?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what it looked like on a nice TV, on my TV, and, see what that was like. And, realized that Suicide Squad was on Netflix, and I was like, oh, God. I hated that film with a passion.
I don't like it.
I And the
didn't hate
extended
it, but I
version
don't
doesn't
like
help it much at all.
It's the other thing is they tie it into the regular DCEU now, and we've got no context for any of the villains.
Didn't I just basically the whole movie ask who is this and why are they there and what did they do and why?
This is in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and it's sort of like, okay, they spend a lot of time trying to set these people up, but by the end of it, you're like, do I care? Not really.
And then I saw a thing posted that the guy that played Flag is going to be leading something in the next one. I'm like, please don't make another one.
No, well, yeah, and the thing is, even though it was crap, that made a crap ton of money. So even though, you know, it was critically absolutely smashed and everything, they'll still make another one.
Why?
Because it made a lot of money.
Yeah. And because there's a lot of really, you know, lowbrow people out there who really didn't give a fuck that it had no story or plot and the characters made no sense. They were perfectly fine with a bunch of people shooting each other and Margot Robbie's ass.
I did like Margot Robbie's ass.
Yeah, so did I. But you know, I don't know that we can make an entire film on that.
I don't know.
I think they made an entire industry.
Yeah, there's an entire industry based off that, Quinny. Come on.
True, and there is nothing wrong with that porn industry. More power to it.
So, I like Man of Steel. I like Batman v Superman.
Oh,
I love Wonder Woman.
Yeah, good. I think. See, I for a while had forgotten that Man of Steel was even a part of that.
Well, somebody suggested the other day on a podcast I listened to, one of them, that Man of Steel seems like an after. You know, it's like they made the movie and they're like, oh, maybe we should launch a universe with this.
Yes. I feel like that's exactly what they did. I think they were going to make Man of Steel. Like that was their intent for a while. It was like, okay, we need to bring Superman back into the fold because we need to work out how to fix up this whole Superman Returns thing. Or
we're about to lose the rights to this character. We might want to go ahead and refresh this from Simon and Schuster.
Yeah, that's probably got a bit to do with it. Yeah, so, you know, you've got that, and then you've got this whole thing of, like, going, okay, right, well, Marvel's making a shit ton of cash, and they seem to be kicking our ass. Oh, okay, what are we going to do? Is it that time?
No,
I just had a headline. No, the shit is going crazy in Portland constantly.
Technically it is, but we're having such a great time, and as long as you don't mind staying on. I know Kevin's probably going to drop off sooner rather than later.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I got a little while longer, but not too long. I got to organize myself and head out for the day.
Yes, it's early for you.
But yeah, well, it's middle of the day, but I got a friend in town from out of town, so I got to catch up with him. But yeah, like this, yeah. Where were we? I've completely forgot.
Well, we were building a movie universe.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Marvel, you know, by the time that Man of Steel comes out, Marvel is 3 or 4 films in at least.
Yeah,
and are clearly making crazy bank. And then they go, okay, we're going to do Batman versus Superman. And I think everyone's like, okay. But then they throw Wonder Woman into that. And I think Batman versus Superman, like, is the moment that you can see them going, shit, we need to do a lot of catch up.
Oh, because Batman sent her that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because remember, Batman versus Superman is the one that introduces the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg and all of those in really, really crappy, you know.
With the computer, like those little files.
Yeah, the files.
Which is like, it was almost like she went to the YouTube of superheroes and let's look at origins of this person, click, this person, click.
I was thinking about this the other day. Why does Marvel work so much better than DC's cinematic universes? And it dawned on me all of a sudden. DC doesn't understand how to make their characters realistic in a world realistically.
No.
Marvel does, and the only reason Marvel does for a modern day is because they did the whole Ultimate Comics thing for so long and then recreated all their characters. Because we're seeing the ultimate versions of all these characters, not the...
Pretty much, yeah.
So DC really needs to do this. We need to re-update all of our characters in a actual effort, but skip the comic part. Just put it on screen. I mean, don't destroy everything in sight. Superman does not need to be gritty. Christopher Reeves was just fine.
Yeah. Well, but the thing, I mean, DC did do that. There was it was Year Zero or something like that. There was a modern rebooty retelling of Superman not that long before Man of Steel. And I can't remember what the hell it was called. It's either called Year One or Year Zero or something like that.
Well, there was a Year Zero.
I think that was more Batman, though.
Okay,
well, that was company wide.
Oh,
well, there was 0 Hour.
0 Hour is what I'm thinking of. Sorry,
which was quite a few years before that. See, the thing is, DC it was Year One. Sorry, no, Superman. Oh, hang on, is it Earth One?
Oh, Earth One, yes.
Superman Earth One, which was written by Straczynski, and that was kind of modern take on Superman.
What was that, Kevin?
Of Babylon 5, J. Michael?
Yeah. That's the one.
Huh.
I didn't like that because I don't think just because he's got all these superpowers that he's perfect, and that's exactly the way they portrayed him. But I'd rather have that than what ended up Henry Cavill doing, because I mean, it was okay, but it's...
Yeah.
I'm okay with fighting Zod in Man of Steel. I am not okay with the Trinity fighting a mutated Zod Doomsday.
Yeah.
Now, they did not need to do that.
No, and once again, there's that whole thing of trying to jump to the blood god straight away.
And I'm positive we're going to have Doomsday in Justice League, which is way too fast.
Darkseid.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, we kind of just did Doomsday.
Yeah, Darkseid. I'm positive. And if they don't do Darkseid, I will clap. But I'm positive they're going to go for Darkseid right off the bat.
Well, apparently they're doing, like, the big bad in that one's meant to be Steppenwolf.
Did Magic Carpet Ride?
Yeah, that's the one. I can't do that one. It's a band that arrives.
Nobody knows the words.
Yeah,
you can't understand them.
Nope.
But so that literally does the opposite of Darkseid, and that's let's aim too low.
To go to Steppenwolf.
You know what? At least throw the Joker in there, for God's sakes. Have them go against the Joker. Or have them go against... You can't do Lex Luthor because he was in Batman v Superman. Give us a mini...
You know who I would go? Brainiac.
Brainiac? Or a mini... What I was going to say was a mini Legion of Doom. Just grab a few of them and then they're taking... Basically, it's team versus team then.
Light. Legion of Doom Light.
Legion of Doom Light. Now with less calories.
I guess the problem with that is that you haven't set up their bad guys properly. Like, the only reason that works on the TV stuff, like Flash and everything, is because they've had enough time to set up the bad guys to go against the good guys. I think at the moment the only bad guys we have are the Joker and Lex Luthor. And Ares, kind of.
But Ares is dead.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically, we've got Diablo and Will Smith. He's as bad as it gets.
Deadshot, yeah.
Harley Quinn. I mean, we've got those guys to work with too, but I don't think that's enough either.
Oh, there's a Deathstroke as well who's been cast. Joe Manganiello or something.
From Arrow?
Yeah, well, no, not like it's Deathstroke the character, but it's a different actor, not Manu Bennett.
Is it? It's not the guy. Well, let me look it up. The one I'm thinking of was in.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you this because this is kind of funny.
No, not Manu Bennett.
No, I know Manu. He's an interesting dude.
Well, Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello? This guy.
Manganiello or something like that. Yeah, I was trying to. I'm like Sofia Vergara's husband.
And you look at him and you go,
"That
guy looks an awful lot like Manu Bennett, really, doesn't he?"
Yeah.
Why not go with Manu Bennett?
But I bet he doesn't.
Because you can't cross over into the TV universe.
Wait, let me put my one comment into this conversation that I can.
Yeah.
I only have one thing to say. Manu Bennett smells really good.
You've met Manu, have you?
I have.
He's an interesting dude, isn't he?
He's not tall, but he smells good.
When you said Joe whatever, I was immediately thinking of one of the guys in Godfather.
Oh, Joe Pantalonio.
No, well,
because that would be an amazing Deathstroke.
Oh my God, I want to get Australians to pronounce mobster names all the time.
Is that the same guy? Wait, no, I don't think that's the right one. I think the guy I'm thinking of, he was a drug dealer in Godfather 3. He was on First Monday, the show about the Supreme Court. He's also been in oh shit. God damn it. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Kitty, go
But I don't like Deathstroke as a character.
I sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I find the character. Are you thinking Joe Montana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is not Joe Montana, the guy from the football?
Yeah. Yes.
Montana. I know who you mean. Yeah. Who's probably a little old for this. And definitely not Deathstroke.
But I mean that's where my mind went when you said
gotcha.
So okay. But I guess if we have to have a Deathstroke, it might as well be the werewolf from True Blood.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, look, I don't know. I the one character, the one bad guy that I've always kind of wished that they would do for Superman is probably Brainiac, because he actually poses a massive threat. Like, has the big ships and can, take cities, but at the same time isn't a god. He's not Darkseid. He's not essentially a ridiculously overpowered god.
Because you don't want to do God. Because the only way you can go once you've taken on Darkseid is the Anti-Monitor and other super beings way more powerful,
which is so far beyond. They're kind of almost ludicrous.
Yes, it would be like the Avengers fighting Eternity in the Marvel universe, and that's just so beyond their capabilities.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's like the first Batman, like the '89 Batman. Don't kill your Joker first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it allowed them to move forward, because I could totally see them constantly bringing him back.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Here is the picture of my lovely wife with Manu Bennett.
Oh, very nice.
Tough to see, but there we are.
Nice.
That was when I was
interesting guy. Sorry?
That was when I was a henchman.
Ah, nice.
Isn't he from New Zealand?
Yeah, he's he's kind of from New Zealand and kind of from Australia. Hey, kid. So, yeah. I've had to work with mono many times. I was there at one panel where a lady in the audience stood up, walked over to the stage, and tried to give him her underwear. That was a moment.
Interesting.
None of us tried to do that.
I feel the most sorry for the stage manager who intercepted her and had to take the underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. You have a lot. How much? You got a lot longer, Quinny, or you should?
Look, I'm going to have to wrap it up fairly soon. But if one last question, one last topic.
Well, actually, I was going to say, why don't we kill the live feed? Because I want to go back to doing what I used to do. I've been writing down funny things that we've said during the course of this show, and I want to give the name of the show as one of these things. So there will be a small post show, which we can throw back and forth to just between us, but for the fans, we can leave them wanting more.
Well, like my mom always used to say, leave them while they want you to stay.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me, Quinny.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for I also want to say thank you to Kevin, who I've talked over more than anyone else ever.
I'm used to it, but thank you.
It happens. I would.
Patience is saint-like, Space Jesus.
Space Jesus. There we go. If you wanted to come back on in the future, I'll put the offer out there. Give you warning. I won't just drop it on you or whatever. But I mean, it's a possibility. And Kevin, thanks for showing up again. I was expecting a bigger cast tonight, but apparently I was wrong.
Well, you know, Soft Rock had to go do his burlesque show, so
he had to watch his burlesque show.
Drink whiskey, Coke, apparently.
Yeah. And Bob decided he's going to be on vacation and didn't bother telling anybody until, I don't know, 5 minutes before we went live. So
nice work, Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So for the fans, we're going to say goodbye and hang on, Quinny. We'll talk a little bit. And
thank you. And if you're ever around, come and see the periodictableofawesome.com.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to promote that. That's going to be in the tags and all that. I do it right.
You do it right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.